Hello and welcome back to Benjy's Cafe podcast with me, Ben Harlow. Thanks for listening, and joining me for a coffee this week is the actor and musician Tommy Sherlock. Tommy was born in Liverpool but now lives in El Paso, Texas. His UK performing credits include Mamma Mia, Footloose, Wicked and for the RSC Tim Mincham's musical Matilda. In 2010, Tommy joined the international vocal group Tenors of Rock. They went on to become finalists on TV's X Factor and played to over 100,000 people in London's Hyde Park. In 2017, the group began a 2-year residency at Harrah's Casino in Las Vegas. And in 2019, Tommy was then cast in the US tour of the rock musical Jesus Christ Superstar. And this is when life for Tommy changed.
So for those who don't know, I suffered a stroke. 2 strokes whilst I was in my hotel room in Rochester, New York. We were on tour. We've been touring since September of 2019. And then in the February of the 2020, we were in a hotel in Rochester, New York doing the gig, and on a Friday night, I suffered a stroke.
It's a fascinating story of recovery and the power of Tommy's spirit. Get the kettle on. Enjoy listening. Hello, America. Tommy Sherlock. Welcome to Benjy's Cafe.
Good morning, sire. It's good to see you.
Thank you for joining us. And you're in Texas, right?
I am, yeah. El Paso, Texas. Thank you. I thought I'd throw on a shirt today. I don't get dressed these days, to be fair. Homeowner now, so I like to just lounge around, either naked or like in my sweats. So it's very rare that I get to slip a shirt on. So seeing Ben today.
You look good. I go for just a light casual brief and a pair of Veruca socks. It's wonderful.
I can just imagine you in a rolled up pair of Villa socks.
Oh my God, the good old Villa. It's so good to see you, Tommy. You look so well. I first met you, can you believe it, 20 years ago, 2004, original cast of the smash hit ABBA musical Mamma Mia. It was the international tour, Tom.
That was a wild time, wasn't it?
It was. What a tour, what a group of people. You got that from an open audition, and but it was your first job, Tom, and I've got to say straight away I spotted your energy, your talent. You had something so special. Were you aware of what you brought to that company on and off stage? It was almost, oh, if Tom is here, everything's going to be all right because we can have fun. You embraced, I mean, we'll talk about where we went on that tour. My God, some places, how amazing. But wherever we went, you embraced the environment and you just made people feel happy.
I didn't know that, but that's nice to know. I guess I strive to do those kind of things because so you always want to get too deep on it, but it's too short. This beautiful gift that we've been given as life is just too short. So if you go back, yes, I have my dark days. Everyone has their bad days and you want to smash someone's head in, but that's not every day. The overriding emotion is just to have fun. And you've been, like, we were given essentially a world tour for our first jobs. It's like, wait there. Yeah, I'm going to enjoy this to the maximum.
Can you remember actually auditioning for it? Where did you audition in Liverpool?
I did. No, I went to Edinburgh. There was an open call in the stage for Mamma Mia for the international tour, and they had auditions in London, Belfast, and Edinburgh. And I went, I'm not going to London because it'll be rammed. I'll go to Edinburgh. So I went to Edinburgh, and it to be fair, it wasn't that busy at all. But then, sang well, danced well, all that kind of thing. Nicola Traherne?
Would have been, yeah. Nicola Traherne, associate choreographer, wasn't she?
Yeah, beautiful. She was great with me. And I had glandular fever at the time as well. So I wasn't singing too well, even though I thought it was well. And you're like, is everything okay? I was like, yeah, I've just been lugging around this glandular fever for a while. And you're like, you did great. Come and join us in London. So I went to London for the callbacks. Umpteen times, me and Andy Bowness, who was in my class at the time. He was, but yeah. So I went down to London, then actually got the job. Like,
well, you mentioned, embracing life, that it is a short life. I mean, what an opportunity that was as a young man. Tommy as a young person. But what a tour. We opened in Dublin, the Point. 3,000-4,000 people. I think Benny came on stage at the finale, didn't he?
But dude, I've got the best ABBA story there. Oh, I don't know if I've ever told you this. Opening
from
night
Dublin.
from Dublin. Opening night. Obviously, the ABBA were all there. I was out front. I was out front with my notebook, like looking for my mum and dad, because my mum and dad would call me going, "We've got the tickets. We don't know where to go." So I could see my mum and dad walking. They were at the back of the red carpet. I was like, "Okay, I can see them right there." And then I was like, "I don't know what to do." And they just kept walking down the red carpet. Don't think they were meant to be there, but they look like the Beckhams. They were all dressed in white, pure white, the pair of them. I was like, ah. Anyway,
Oh,
I
mate.
don't know how it happened, but I slipped onto the red carpet. I was like, "I've got your tickets." There's me mum, me dad, the ABBA, surrounded by their security, just going, walking into the point with the ABBA. I was like, "Mum, I'll leave you here. I've got to go backstage now." So
Oh,
we
man.
entered the point, which is now the O2, literally
Yeah, yeah.
with the
On the
ABBA, hand
docks.
in hand with the ABBA. They were looking at us going, "Who are these?"
And did you folks share their Maltesers at the interval with the ABBA?
No, did they bollocks?
then I think then I think from Dublin to where did we South Africa especially, that was amazing, wasn't it? To work over there and experience the country.
Oh, it was unbelievable.
Is traveling something you've enjoyed, Tom, throughout your
Loved it.
career?
Yeah, I loved it. I think that tour set off the precedent. You know what I mean? I'd never really travelled. I've been on holiday a couple of times to Tenerife, but
Yeah.
you've never travelled like that. We travelled. We went to places you would never even dream of going. You never go to South Africa really, unless you later on in life you think, "Oh, I'll go there." But to be a 20-year-old man, it's unbelievable. And I've travelled since. Like I've been loads of places. Obviously, I now live in America. I still do jobs with the Tenors of Rock, and we go on cruise ships all over the world. So it's travel is still a big part, but also something I'm trying to get away from, which is why I've settled in El Paso, because I want to start a family, and I don't want to be. I wouldn't want to miss a second of our child's life, not even for my job. I've done this life and I've done traveling around, and which is why I've gone back to college now in El Paso, because I want to be able to be right there if they've got a game, or if they need help with their homework, whatever. I want to be there. I want to be there every second, because I can always go back to it. You know what I mean? When I'm an
Yeah, it's
old
always
footy
there,
duddy,
isn't it?
it's
Like
always there,
me.
always there.
But what a dad they're going to have, Tom. You're full of energy. You've still got that wonderful Liverpool twang. I've moved up to Liverpool. I've been here, God, nearly 6 months now, Tom. And what I've noticed, it's such a happy city. The humour is wonderful. There's so many joyous individuals around.
Mhm.
Do you think you picked up on that growing up? Have you always had this spark
Of,
about you, this
of
effervescence?
course, yeah. I don't think everyone in Liverpool's got that, but they've got the sense of community.
Yeah.
Everyone, every. I mean, it's bad. Like it usually always starts with the pub. Everyone meets down the pub, no matter what's going on. Someone's getting christened, someone's woke up today. You get down the pub and you all go and have a drink
Yeah.
about it. You know what I mean? So that sense of community, I lived in a close when I was growing up, and you knew every single neighbour, and it's I think it's just inbred in you as the camaraderie of being someone from Liverpool or
It's a
someone who's a Scouser. You know what I mean?
it's a great city, so much culture as well. The theatres,
Yeah,
I love it here. It's fantastic.
beautiful part of the world. So
Well, when
close
we
to
first
Formby
moved, like,
and
Formby, like I took Harry there for a walk. Again, we mentioned, I mean, like you, I kind of like to look on the bright side of life, but one can't help in life. You have days where it's pretty shit, isn't it? So if I'm feeling like that, I'll take Harry for a walk. I'll go to the beach with Harry. And we walked through the sand dunes and arrived on Formby Beach. Oh my God. I felt like
it's
Judith
unbelievable.
Chalmers. Like it literally, it took my breath away, Tom. How
It's it.
beautiful that
And that's
coastline
on your
is.
doorstep. And literally, it's on your doorstep.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
beautiful. Cold, but beautiful. Like,
Oh, it's
literally.
chilly. I've got my my balaclava on. Don't you worry.
Oh, my balaclava. 6'19" guy on the beach with a balaclava.
I'm
I'm
gonna
sure a few people have phoned in.
Tom, my one and only TV credit. It's going to be Crime Watch. I'm sure of it. As myself, which is quite worrying.
And you wouldn't have even got paid for it.
Back in London, audition again. Was that hard to reboot yourself to kind of to plow on with the next stage of your career.
The only thing that gets your foot in the door and gets you over the line and makes you win the race is hard work. And
well, you embrace that attitude, Tom. And I've mentioned in previous episodes of the pod, Tom, that for 3 years, sort of mid-lockdown and during COVID, to just before moving up to Liverpool, actually, that I worked in an actor's retirement home. And the one thing that taught me there is that you have to just embrace life, because ultimately it's not going to last forever. And, I think if you see whatever you do, whatever walk of life you do, if you can embrace an opportunity, give it a go, nothing bad is going to happen. You're only going to learn from it. If it doesn't work out, at least you've tried.
Good
I think
words.
that's
exactly.
I think that's really important.
And
so from Wicked to Matilda. Now that is a show.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm a big softie, but that is a beautiful show.
I loved the work. I loved the work. I loved the rehearsals. I loved watching people work. That's the best part of musicals for me. I was always confident in my vocal abilities. And once again, you just do it as you do it.
Yeah,
and they've cast you and they like you, so just do it as you
just
do
it. Yeah, you
Don't
almost
let
have to not second guess yourself and just trust your talent, your natural ability.
Trust it. I mean, that's one little phrase that I've really taken on in the last year or since we bought this house and stuff like that. Trust the process. There's so many times building this table, I wanted to give up, and I was like, no, just keep going, trust it, and it will work.
Yeah. And one of the things, yeah, it's so true though. It is so true. And one of the things, I've nearly been sober for a year now, Tom, and it gives you that drive to attack life and not be worried. It's like a beautiful energy, and it's almost like you've had that energy since the word go, since I met you 20 years ago.
Yeah. Why? I mean, I've always
that's
been
what
energy.
You bring to life.
Yeah. You got to have. Yeah, I guess that's my best quality, is just energy. Just go for it and have a bit of energy, even if you're talking to someone. Have a bit of energy about it. That's I was going to ask you, because we've not spoken about this whole thing since, but sobriety. What? I've never really delved into that subject, even though I guess I'm sober now just because of my own personal reasons. But surely there was a tipping point. Or was there a tipping point, or was there just something that you were just like,
you know what? If I'm being really honest, I've been thinking about it 2-3 years. If I'd had a tough day at work, I'd be doing, 2-3, probably, if I'm being honest, 4 beers on a Monday or a Tuesday, and just slowly beginning to feel so lethargic and tired. And I'm nearly 50, and I was just sick of it. And you know what it was? It was booking my hair transplant. And the doctor, great guy, Ventus Clinic in Hitchin, Hertfordshire, where we used to live. Ooh. The doctor said, we had the consultation, it's like, you're going to have to, because alcohol thins the blood, and if you smoke, you're going to have to stop alcohol for 2 weeks before the op, and I think it was 2 weeks after the op, and 2 weeks after the op was my birthday. And anyway, I started to feel brilliant. 1 week, 2 weeks, I was like, I'm going to keep going. And that was almost a year ago, and it is the best thing I've done. It's given me energy, a bit of spark, the new hair.
I was going to say, you look like a different Ben. You're the same Ben.
Really?
But your hair is, obviously you've had the transplant, but that's well done for going to do that.
Yeah.
Many men would probably shy away from that.
Oh,
but you've gone,
man.
I've
completely embraced it. I mean,
it's beautiful, dude.
Thank you. Yeah,
I want to run my fingers through it.
Anytime. I'll get on the next flight to Texas, Tom.
But you look, the cheeks. There's a brightness about you. There's always has been. You've always had that smile that warms any room. You really have.
Cheers, Tom. But I think it's given me. It has literally made me the best version of myself, and it's good, man.
Great stuff,
I feel
man.
ready for the next stage of my life, which is cool.
I'm kind of the same. I don't really drink at all. I've had a great relationship with it. Love the drink, and it's great for a social event. But now it's just a little bit different. I very rarely drink. Well,
you're looking good, mate, as well. Honestly, cheers. What have you got there? Mint tea? Have you gone?
No, I was going to have a coffee, but I got up really early this morning, so I had a coffee then. I was like, I can't have another coffee.
Have you done your paper round? It'll be like the finale of Mamma Mia again. My mum, bless her, used to do mine. If I had football or I was playing a T-bird in Greece at school, my mum had to go and deliver the Birmingham Evening Mail, bless her.
Did she really?
Mum's
No,
a hero.
I had to go to dancing of a Saturday. My mum couldn't afford it.
Right.
And then I used to go there, and I remember the like wonderful woman, Nora Button, her name is, absolute
Yeah.
saint.
Isn't it
Couldn't afford
funny
it in the end.
that everyone I've spoken to, they've always had this like figure in the early stages of their career and training that has just inspired them, and so that
Well, I
she would
couldn't
be the
go,
one for
couldn't
you.
afford to go. She made me go for free. Well, not made me. She was like, "Listen, don't tell anyone, but you can come for free." So I used
Wow,
to do
what a
my paper
lady!
rounds. It was amazing. I give her all the credit for why I'm here. Literally, in this
Yeah.
point in my life, I've experienced what I've experienced. Essentially, to her, you know.
So,
But
Tom,
yeah.
2010, you've done the credits are rolling up. Matilda, Wicked, Footloose, Fiddler, Mamma Mia. Can you tell me how the group Tenors of Rock, of which you were an original member, formed, and
Mm-hmm.
your subsequent success? Because I was watching that from afar, and I was like, your voice had matured. My God, your voice. Physically, you bulked up. You were looking good. Would you say that was a real highlight of your career? That
Oh, for
period.
sure. Absolutely, yeah. Because it was the first time I was being myself. You know, we're in
How
shows.
interesting. Yeah.
We're in shows and you're playing someone else. Whereas I was always meant to be in Tenors of Rock. And after Matilda for like 2.5, 3 years, the
Yeah.
boys are like, okay, we're going to do some gigs now. And you're on stage and you go, I'm not in my costume. I haven't got a fake mustache on. I haven't got a fedora. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm not picking up kids and throwing them around the place or dancing around. I'm just presenting me as me on stage. And then that's when you just let loose. And that's, a couple of gigs in and I was flying then. And it was just so good to hear all the boys on that gig. Knowing I was meant to be in the original Tenors of Rock when I was in Wicked, because the original Tenors of Rock gig was at the Apollo Theatre 20 or 40th anniversary of the theatre. So anyway, then I went straight from Wicked to Matilda, and then after Matilda finished, the boys were like, "Are you gonna come and join?" And I was like, "Absolutely, can't think of anything better." And then from then it just snowballed. We were doing gigs and we were doing cruise ships. We were actually on a cruise ship around. We were doing like a small Asian tour, so we were going around Singapore, Hong Kong, a few places around there, and then one of the Caesars executives saw us at a gig. I was like, "We need you guys in Vegas. Can you come to Vegas?" So we
Wow.
had to cut that gig short.
And
Flying for Vegas,
with that series of gigs, Tom, was that before the X Factor?
yeah, because the boys have got a little bit of fame from there and done
Yeah.
loads of gigs, and it kind of just they kept on gigging and gigging, and as you do as a band, that's what you do.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that was the turning point when the Caesars executive saw us on. I can't remember whether they were on a ship or we were doing a big
Wow.
show in Singapore or in Maui, in
Wow. Well,
Hawaii. Yeah.
your show was amazing. Like, I saw you on when I was on Allure of the Seas for Royal Caribbean. I think
Oh,
you
you
were. I saw you. I can't remember if you were part of the lineup because I know people
no
dipped in and
way.
out. But
Yeah.
the vocal talent, the energy, and also the style is that blend of the rock with the musical theatre, and especially the majority of the audience on the ships were American, and my God, they loved it. So
Yeah.
executive from Vegas literally just snapped you guys up.
He saw it and said, "Would you like a residency at the Paris Casino, which is a Caesars owned casino? They own Planet Hollywood, Caesars, all these kind of things."
And it's
So
bang on
yes,
the strip, isn't it?
you couldn't get more on the strip. It's one of the original casinos, Harris. To be fair, it's one of the older casinos, but it's still a great casino. But yeah, right in the middle of the strip. Couldn't get any more in the middle of the strip.
So from Croxteth in Liverpool, you're now out in Vegas.
Yeah.
Good. Was it a tough existence there? I mean, on the periphery, everyone would be thinking, "Oh my God, what a life! It's dreamland." But the reality, tough.
Yeah. Yeah. Everything that comes with being under a contract, working for somebody else, trying to work within a group of other lads, big egos everywhere, producers, that kind of thing. Those little things, but it didn't. I tried as much as I could. I mean, I did. I succeeded. It didn't let me. It didn't stop me. I sold my motorbike straight away in England. I bought a Harley, so I went to work every night on my Harley.
Amazing.
I loved the shows, enjoyed them. We were winning awards, Best of Las Vegas awards. We were performing for Caesars executives in these crazy ballrooms, and we released a calendar, Tenors of Rock calendar.
What month were you?
I was pretty much every month. I can't remember what month I was, but
You were May through to September.
Mr. September. Even like the Caesars executive closed down Caesars pool for us for the afternoon, and then gigs in Elvis's suite at his old. It was pretty dreamlandy.
Yeah.
Lo and behold, the casting director of Jesus Christ Superstar saw the show at the end, and we used to do a meet and greet where people would take pictures and stuff like that. It was great.
Yeah.
And she was like,
signings and
yeah,
all
absolutely,
the rest
signing chests and stuff.
of it.
And then she was like, I'm the casting director for Jesus Christ Superstar, a show I'd always wanted to be in.
Yeah.
But for me, more than the show I'd always wanted to be in, it was like a little bit of a way out.
Yeah. And how funny these things often come along when you're ready for a little
when
change.
You need it,
how weird.
Yeah, when you need it, yeah. But it was good. Went and auditioned in New York, which was kind of a little bit of a dream thing.
Yeah.
So I was in the middle of 46th Street in a big executive office, and I was like, I'm in New York doing an audition. Even if I don't get the job, this is cool. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Ended up getting a job, which is amazing. Conscious pilots, but still a role that I grew to love. At first, I was like, pilot? Isn't he the old dude? You know what I mean? I was like, surely. With the way the show was constructed, it was Tim Sheeder's production from Regent's Park. And
amazing,
It was that production, basically. And we had Tim over, all the English casting people who ended up directing it. And it was so youthful. It was more along the lines of the battle to be who's the rock star. So I had like a skinhead with a mohawk and so it was a black paint, and I had a guitar.
Amazing.
I played the guitar from my song, and it was so rock and roll. It was the 50th anniversary tour because it was 50 years since the Brown album was released. So they wanted to model it all around the Brown album. So there was no pausing, there was no break. It was as if you placed the album on, put the needle on, and just let it run. So we didn't have an interval. It was the hour and a half straight through. So it was intense. The choreography was insane, amazing. I loved it. I loved the job. It was amazing.
And mentally and everything, physically, vocally, that must have been a drain on the back of a big stint, a big life change, moving from the UK to Vegas. That lifestyle, all the touring leading up to Vegas and joining Tenors of Rock. Were you beginning to feel physically tired? Were there any signs that maybe life was getting a little bit too hectic for you?
Not really. Like we discussed earlier, one thing I've always had is energy. Like as soon as I went to Vegas, I joined a Muay Thai gym because I've always fought. That was good until I kept on getting knocked out, and I had thick lips, and I was like, I can't really be being on stage with a thick lip and a black eye. I was like, I can't be doing that, so I stopped that after a little while, but I still kept it up. I still kept it, just training and stuff. So that's one thing I always had, was the energy.
Yeah.
Always had the energy to live and just crack on.
And
I never really. It's only recently that I've started to feel, I guess, my energy a little bit.
So you was it halfway through the tour? If I just take you to that hotel in Rochester, New York, can you just explain what happened there and just how much of a bolt out of the blue it must have been?
Yeah, I'll try and explain. Yeah, so for those who don't know, I suffered a stroke, 2 strokes, whilst I was in my hotel room in Rochester, New York. We were on tour. We've been touring since September of 2019. And then in the February of the 2020, we were in a hotel in Rochester, New York, doing the gig. And on a Friday night, I suffered a stroke, which was a vertebral dissection. Vertebral artery that runs, you got your 2 carotids and you got your 2 vertebrals. One of them had just caved in on itself, which had stopped blood flow to my brain. So essentially brain damage. I just remember feeling unwell in the evening. I got up to the toilet and I remember stumbling a little bit, and I was a bit like, I'm just tired. I'm in a different hotel room. I don't know where I am. It's fine. Went for a while, went back to bed, but I knew something wasn't right. So I was just laying there kind of like, if I just stay awake, it'll be okay. You know what I mean? I can just ride this out. Maybe I might throw up. When you become attentive when something's happening, you go, okay, if I don't feel well, I'll go and have a Pepto-Bismol or whatever. I thought, if I just stay awake. And then I remember must have nodded off. And then it got to about 8 in the morning, and I needed a drink so bad, but I couldn't move my body. And I was like, "Babe, I need some water." And she was like, "Go and get yourself a water." And I was like, "I can't move. Can you get it for me?" And I remember trying to reach over with my right hand and look at my phone, and I couldn't really see. It felt like my phone finger was going through the phone, even though I knew I was pressing it. I was like, "Can I get some
Yeah.
water?" And the wife knew straight away. She was on it like she was a professional. She jumped up and she was like, "Okay, something's not right." She called 911. They were there within minutes, like
Wow.
absolute minutes. Luckily enough, you wouldn't believe, Rochester has the number one stroke unit in the country. So if anywhere where I was going in the 20 odd states that we visited doing G Star was anywhere I was going to have a stroke, Rochester was the best place to have a stroke. So
They were.
lucky, really lucky.
Oh, Tom.
Yeah,
And
and I was there for like 2 weeks.
were you?
I couldn't.
How soon when you were admitted did they tell you what had happened?
I don't remember being. I remember holding. I couldn't see. I couldn't open my eyes, and I couldn't really move. I just remember holding a hand. And the first time I opened I could hear my wife's voice talking to people. And here's a funny story. I remember being sort of compass mentis, going, "Oh, this
Yeah.
feels so weird." When the paramedics got me up, like my legs completely caved underneath me because of all the nerve damage, and then I threw up, and then they would put me in a chair. And I remember thinking, "Called the ambulance here. This is going to cost me a fortune."
Oh, mate.
Because healthcare in the US is no joke.
Yeah.
Seriously, for British users, you don't even know how lucky we are to have the NHS. It is a
Mm.
gem. Live in the States for 6 months and you'll know. Anyway, so my initial thought in my head was, this is going to cost me a fortune. And then I heard them talking before I even left the room about possible stroke. And I remember thinking, oh, at least there's something wrong with me. At least I can justify calling the
Yeah,
calling
you're
the
getting your
ambulance.
money's worth, right?
I knew I was getting my money's worth. And then it kind of dawned on me. I kind of lost consciousness in the ambulance. And
Mm.
then I just remember sort of shriveling up and holding hands and opening my hand, and it was the company manager. I could hear my wife in the distance, like on phone calls or whatever. I remember just looking, and so, and I was holding on to my company manager's hand. He was the nicest guy in the world. He's recently just passed away, bless him. Um, but yeah, that was it. And then it took me a while. I couldn't really move my legs. And then I was admitted to rehab, basically. That, they said I was a good candidate because of my age and my
And
ability.
was that back at home, Tom, or did you stay in New York for that?
Stayed in Rochester because
Yeah.
I couldn't move essentially for about a week, and then I was in a wheelchair for about a week. Just going through rehab. Rehab was going quite well. And, they attributed that to my age and the fact that I had a strong dance background. My core
Yeah.
was strong. I had good muscle structure. Even though I'm only
Yeah.
slight, there's hard,
A
solid
good
muscle
call
under there.
there. But Tom, that just to hone in on that is crazy. This effervescent, energetic young performer who I met 2004 to having that stroke in a
Mhm.
wheelchair. Do you think your spirit, which is it just completely shines, do you think that has played a massive part in your positive recovery from what happened in that
Oh
hotel room?
yeah, it's just like going back to like I saw it as a job. I saw it as an audition. I was like, I'm gonna get
Mm.
through this. Nothing is gonna break me down and get me through this. And I was laughing straight away, giggling straight away because that's the only way. I remember the first time I brought my wife to see my mum. Who was always sickly. She was in intensive care. I was trying to make light of the situation, and she didn't find it funny at all. And I was like, I thought that's what you meant to do in hospital. I thought you meant to go, at least I'm still here, kind of thing. You know what I mean? So I learnt my lesson with my mum not to do that, but I thought I'm not going to do that for me because I'm just going to try and be myself. You know what I mean? I did get told off in hospital because once I was in the wheelchair, I saw it as a go kart and I'm spinning around everywhere. And they're like, "You need to slow down. You've
Yeah.
got brain
No,
damage. You need to
no,
relax.
no wheelies. Calm
No
down. Calm
wheelies
down.
yet." So, but yeah, no, I just saw it as another obstacle. If it's something to get over, I was like, I used to wheel myself into physiotherapy every day. You'd go like
Yeah.
twice a day. There was a sign outside the door. There was a sign outside the physio room therapy door that said, "If you've done it before, you can do it again." And I was like, absolutely. There's no way I won't be able to do that again. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And
Um,
I think people in this world, Tom, I'm sure people have been quick to judge me over the years. Isn't it lovely to feel yourself and to try and make people happy? And I think sometimes people get a bit conscious or wary of people who are like that. But I guarantee the amount of fun and happiness you brought people, certainly when I worked with you and the subsequent companies you worked in, you would have put a smile on the faces of the physios, of the people who worked at the hospital.
Mm-hmm.
And the way you approached your recovery would have taught them a hell of a lot too. And
Yeah,
you must be so proud of that.
I'm
from
not proud of it
afar.
because until you said it, you don't really have. I don't really. There's not a persona where I put on a happy guy because I want to make people happy. I guess it just
Yeah.
happens for a reason. But
It's just you. It's your core,
if I
isn't
have
it?
that positive impact on people, then fucking brilliant.
But you do. I'm telling you, you do. You
That's
do, because
good.
I've been there for 2 years in companies when people have been missing home, and international tour life especially can be quite hard. But you just brought a lot of happiness to people.
Well, that's something I guess I'm giving for free because I don't know I'm giving it. I'm just trying to be
Yeah.
me. I'm trying to make the best of whatever situation we're in, whether it's a brilliant situation, whether it's a shit situation. It's never going to last forever, and you'll get over it.
And how
And I
long
guess
did it
that's
take you to start building up your strength, to get on your feet, to start thinking, right, I'm tackling this, I'm succeeding. Let's plan the next stage of my life. How long did that take you, and what were your next steps
about a
after
year,
that?
I'd say, for full recovery. Just to give you a bit of perspective, like the way my stroke worked was that initially my head is here, but my world was there. So
Yeah.
even though I'm walking straight, I could see you on a 45-degree angle. So I had to do, exercise after exercise to try. Obviously, my brain, the body is insane. Like when you go through an injury and they tell you what's happened, all the neurons and the different parts of my brain take over the job that my vertebral artery that's now dissected can no longer do. Like the body's incredible. So that takes time for it to work itself through. And I guess like from going home and continuing rehab, I came back to El Paso, which is because my wife lives here and their parents lived here. And I was like, they look after me. They set up like a living room in their spare room. So we lived in their living room for like 2 years where I could roll out of bed and, do my exercises and have, just be in a safe place where I had lots of eyes on me to help me recover.
And did you ever, this is a tough question to ask, did you ever think, this is it, I'm done?
No. It's not a tough question. No, that's not me just going, no. Because I knew every day I was getting a little bit better. Where I was going to go in life might change, and it definitely has, because I'm now back in college doing something that's a little bit more stable, trying to use my brain. I don't know why when I've had brain damage, but trying to use my brain. The turning point for me was when I went back to the show, Jesus Christ Superstar. And we were rehearsing again, and not once, like, it was mad. You have to watch people work again because everyone had been in the same boat. I left Rochester, just to take you back. I left Rochester early from my 3 or 4 week rehab program because the world was closing down. Everyone in the hospital was getting sick, and they said to me, "You need to get out of here before you also get COVID on top of a stroke, and we don't know what that's going to do to you." So we left early when I probably wasn't ready to be, but it was fine. The journey home was horrendous because I was still nauseous. My world was this way, and I'm on planes, multiple planes trying to get home. Anyway, got home. And then the world was closed for 18 months, and I was essentially closed with the world, but I was also recovering, I think Jesus Christ Superstar did like 1 or 2 venues after I had the stroke, and then everyone lost their jobs. But when I went back to the tour, I'd done rehab work. I'd been to the gym. I'd worked on the power of my legs and stuff because I've still got nerve damage down my left side, so my left leg wasn't great. I started to work again, and I was on stage and I was on top of the cross, being all piloty. And then there's a bit where I see where you see Jesus and you're meant to confront him, and I used to run, leap off the cross, and stand right in front of him and sing right in his face. I didn't know that I couldn't do that anymore. So first
Oh
day of
man.
rehearsals, I attempt it and end up in a fucking pile of shit on the floor. Literally just in a crumpled mess. And I just looked up and I saw the director. He was like, "Are you okay?" I was like, I mean, I'm physically fine, but morally, mentally, I'm broken here because I couldn't do what I want to do.
Mm.
I couldn't give my energy and run and leap and stand in front of someone and sing in their face. So we had to change the way I moved, the whole choreography, the whole set piece. And it did. It worked. It worked great. It slowed me down. It slowed the character down, and it gave me a bit more presence instead of trying to be a Jack the Lad kind of thing, which still
Yeah, yeah.
worked.
But
That was the
how
point where
amazing from rehab and being in the wheelchair to being back up there. It must have felt just wonderful for
yeah,
you.
it was amazing. It was amazing. That kind of that wanky moment that I'm not really a fan of, but it was really nice when we got up and half the cast members were still there. There was new people. But we did it. We basically just started with a sits program. Let's just sing through the whole thing again. Instead of
Yeah,
getting
yeah.
up there, let's just when I had to get up and sing my song, I was shaking like a shitting dog. Like literally, I was just going because I didn't know there was new people there, and
Yeah.
I didn't know what was going to happen. I didn't know whether I was going to fall over. I felt good. I felt strong, and then it was nice. Everyone gave me like a round of applause because they realised how far I'd come from being in a wheelchair to being back on, a Broadway stage kind of thing.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah,
Well, it's
sorry.
massive, Tom. It's just brilliant. And gosh, I knew you'd had some health troubles, but to hear them but it doesn't surprise me how you've bounced back and you've fought back in your own wonderful way, Tom. And how's life now? Is that a period you look back and think, okay, I've learned a lot from that, and that's propelled me to settling down to looking at perhaps retraining?
Mm. Yeah, no, it's this is what I think. This is what I always wanted. Like my wife, absolutely most beautiful woman in the world, love her, and I wanted to settle. I want to make a life with her. I'm not trying to settle. Like I'm going back to college. The idea is settled. The biggest hurdle out the way was buying our house, which we got to do last November, and it felt amazing because I knew that was the start of like, oh, she's amazing. I wouldn't be here today if it wasn't for her. Literally wouldn't. She, like I told you, she sprang into action like she was a 20-year paramedic. She knew exactly what she was doing.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Yeah, and she's been so solid by my side for the whole thing. And yeah, we're living this life. Funnily enough, when I got the Jesus Christ Superstar gig, because my wife has brains beyond, she's like got a biomechanical engineering degree and stuff like that, has worked for NASA and all these companies.
Wow.
So we're slowly building our little base and hopefully get some kiddies. Like, babe, are you pregnant yet? We'll find out if she's pregnant yet. So,
well, we'll keep everything crossed at Benjy's Cafe, that's for sure.
Benjy's Cafe, yeah. So
how is the retraining going? Like, is it a long process?
I initially wanted to go into physiotherapy because I've dealt with physiotherapists all my life, and obviously I had to deal with physiotherapists with my stroke and stuff. But I've now ventured into the world of radiology, which is digital imaging, radiographs, X-rays, CTs, MRIs, because I also dealt with a lot of that. I just wanted something where it was solid, where I'd enjoy the work. I love human anatomy and physiology. It's so fascinating and it's fun. It's not hard. It's not like maths, the exam I'm about to do with prerequisites. I have to have it. I hate it. But the biology part of it and the human anatomy part of it is so amazing that I cannot wait to get started. Fingers crossed I rank for my course, which starts in September.
Amazing. So, yeah. I'm sure you're going to succeed, Tom. You have in everything else, musical theatre to the rock world to this as well. You've always succeeded, Tom, and I love my food. I'm going to ask every guest on Benjy's Cafe, what's on the dinner menu tonight?
Day off. So the other day I bought a beef pot roast, and I'm going to make mash with, what's that thing again? Like the carrots that you put on, like
roasted vegetables.
Roasted vegetables. That's the words I'm looking for. That's the one. So yeah, braised beef with some mash and some veggies. That's what's.
Oh, Tom, lad, that's going to put hairs on your chest. It sounds great.
Oh, absolutely.
Well, Tom, it's honestly been a pleasure to have you in Benjy's Cafe. Your story is amazing. I've been wanting to hear it for so long. So, thank you so much, and how wonderful you have this wonderful life over there. You're looking well, and you've got through a bloody tough time, and it's just great to see you and to have a chat about it.
And you too, mate. Congratulations on the pod. Congratulations on doing something where you get to, well, like me and you, reconnect. We don't chat
Yeah,
that much because life takes you this way and that way. So
yeah,
congratulations on the pod,
completely.
man. I wish you all the success with it. And you're looking beautiful. The hair looks great. You look happy. You look energetic.
I'm
You know,
happy. I'm like you. I'm happy, and I think it
good,
shows, which is
good.
great. Thanks for
That's all
joining
we
us,
can
Tom.
strive for.
Hey, and
You're
enjoy
welcome.
that braised beef. I'm jealous.
Can't wait for that one.
Thanks for joining me in Benjy's Cafe. Hope you enjoyed listening to Tommy and your coffee too. Make sure you hit follow so every episode gets sent straight to your phone. No booking required, available wherever you get your podcasts. In episode 6, I'll be chatting to the star of Waitress, Wicked, Les Miserables and many more, actor Lucy Jones. It's going to be fun. I'll get the kettle on. Have a great day.